And I'm going right back to the phone line in a minute, but that just takes me back to, and not saying it's like this with this situation, but it just reminded me of mothers. Um, and I found this especially with mothers who have been the victim of sexual abuse. They do not shield, a lot of them do not shield their daughters from the same thing. A lot of them will put their daughters in the exact same position. Sometimes if it was with a family member, they'll leave them with that same family member if it was a grandfather or something like that. But it's like we don't learn if it happens to us to protect our children from it. We'll put them right back in that situation, almost like it's a rites of passage that they need to go through. It's a very sick thing. Have you seen that a lot in your work?
Oh God, that's really the formula. An uncle or a house that, um, or maybe a house with an uncle that molested the child. The woman grows up and takes her daughter and leaves them at the house unattended with that same uncle over there, and that uncle molests them. So now they done molested the mother and the daughter, and the mother knew that he was a molester because he molested him. And again, I'm not giving anybody any excuses, but I'm gonna go back to something I said earlier. I think it's really relevant here. We never really consider this because what happens is those of us that know it's wrong and know how wrong it is, it's like to us, it's common sense. It's like it's not even a question. So that the person that takes their child back there is committing a crime that's almost it's almost unthinkable. Where we want to go out there and shoot them, shoot the pedophile, and shoot them too. And I'm not saying that I want anybody to change how you feel. You should feel how you feel. I am saying this though, and I really want people to consider this because I think it's extremely important for our consideration. There is no general consensus among black people. You're not going to get it from crackers. So I'm not talking about a national consensus. I'm talking about a black national consensus of what pedophilia is, how it occurs, who does it, and what to do with the perpetrators of the crime. So in addition to that, there's no standard of what you do when you know someone in the family was a pedophile and they're still around. The responsibility that a family member has of not taking their children around someone, never done that. The responsibility you have as a member of the family to tell someone if someone has molested someone, if it was you or anybody else, you're responsible to tell people. Because right now, honestly, half the people would say, well, I thought I shouldn't say nothing because my uncle, and if I snitched on him, then, you know, if a brother find out his uncle messed with his niece, he might not say nothing because he don't want his uncle to get in trouble. He don't want to snitch. Well, he might actually be applying a law in this community, which is no snitching. Not realizing that in this particular instance, it's not the no snitching law that applies. It's the black pedophile law, where we don't have a standardized pedophile law, a set of standard procedures to determine if it occurred, if the person was guilty, and then how we're going to punish them. We don't have these things in order, so that I'm not saying how a person should respond. What I am saying is we don't have standardized rules of engagement to deal with this, and we need them.
Okay. And 9803, I'm coming right at you. You're up next. But I do want to pursue this a little bit because it's important. A lot of children, we saw this on the last program. A lot of children don't say anything, even into adulthood, and they assume it only happened to me. They don't assume that maybe it happened to their sister or their cousin or their best friend sometimes is lured into it. They keep it to themselves because they feel like this only happened to me and it's better for me to just keep my mouth closed for either the good of the family or just a whole bunch of different reasons they do that. And I think that more children would come forward if they realized that most perpetrators do not just do this to one child. It's repeated. Do you, and I'm kind of curious because I know there's a difference sometimes between black and white. Do black pedophiles repeat the action as much as whites? Because I've heard, white pedophiles can do it hundreds and hundreds of times before they're caught. Is it the same rate with black molesters, or is it just within a small group of people?
I would say based on, I've never seen a study that does that particular thing, but I would say based on the research I've done, it's the same. If there's any difference, it would be who the pedophile goes after and the cultural difference in that community. So, for instance, if the white pedophile is targeting young females that's 13, then a black pedophile that's targeting a female that's 13, the white pedophile may say they primarily going after white females. They play some Led Zeppelin or some Guns N' Roses or whatever the children might like at that time or whatever they listen to now. The black pedophile may get a Nicki Minaj CD and go after black girls that are 13 and use a similar procedure based on what that community is like. But at the end of the day, their frequency and their desire to exploit children tends to be the same as far as I know.
So would you think that it would be almost a responsibility of adult women who have gone through this, even if they have no reason to believe that this person has offended, sometimes, like we said, it may be children or something like that, and it may have happened and you think, oh, well, they're not doing it anymore. Do you think that it should be a responsibility to go on and out that person anyway, even if it's been a long time ago? Because a lot of people just are not willing to do that.
I'm going to be 100% honest. This one is on black men. When black men make the decision to start enforcing it, then I would say not only is it for the black woman or the black man who's an adult, the responsibility for them to tell somebody who did something when they were young, particularly for the reason of finding out if anybody in the family is experiencing this, because we got to weed these individuals out of our community because they can molest up to 300 to 400 children in their lifetime. That's the part that really gets us. It's not 1 or 2 or 10 or 15. They're in the hundreds usually. Yes, but it's of no benefit in most circumstances for black women or black men or anybody to say anything when black men are going to blame the person who was the victim. Okay. When black men organize and start dealing adequately with the sexual abusers of our children, it will be at that time that I would say that the push for massive education and the push to make people feel guilty, not about being sexually abused, but to feel guilty if they don't tell people that someone sexually abused them, not because of what they're doing for themselves, but because of the potential hundreds of other children whose sexual sanity they could be saving. And then we can flush these fools out, flush them down the toilet, and we can do something to clean up our community.
All right. 9803, you're live.
Respect to y'all.
Peace, how you doing?
How you doing, brother?
I'm growing. Sister, can I get your name? Because I came in onto the conversation late, and I want to give respect.
Oh, yes, sir. Lady Shabazz.
Lady Shabazz. Respect.
Yes, sir.
And irritated Genie, as always, thanks for your striving that you do, brother.
Hey, appreciate you, brother.
I want to let you know, in Dallas, we got your package, and we've been distributing it out to the brothers and sisters out here, you know what I'm saying, trying to get critical conversation going and a better understanding of the value, you know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, bro. As far as the cleansing aspect of the call, I am totally down with that, because anyone who preys upon the fam is to be removed. There is no other questions about it. Anyone who preys upon the fam is to be removed. That's the rule. It's not a want. It's not a guess. It's not a no. That's what we have to do. That's what we're supposed to do. And those of us who get as angry as we get, it's for a reason. It's for a reason, you know.
Do you brothers feel the same way about capital punishment if the offender is a woman?
Exactly. I mean, the values must be upheld. The very first thing they did was break apart our family, and if ain't nobody gonna maintain just basic family values, what else is there? We don't have anything to build upon. So, be a female, if she, overstepping the boundaries, she overstepped the boundaries. I mean, it's not my call. All I'm doing is understanding what is supposed to be done, I took up the charge. I said, look, give me the eyesight, show me the have-nots, show me the power, show me that which is obstructing them. All right, let's combat that.
Yes, sir. And
I'm gonna have to agree with the brother because, I'll be honest with you. I'm far less harsh on black women than I am black men, but I'm gonna be honest. Antoine Fisher did one thing, but for real, the King Shamir show where he interviewed that pedophile.
I listened to that.
After I heard that, that's when I realized, she's dead already.
Yes.
You're not killing nothing. You're really preserving the race. I mean, she's dead, man. A female who gets so sick that they would sexually abuse a child. I don't have any. I don't like the idea of hurting a black woman, but she's no longer a black woman. She's dead anyway. I would say the same penalty for male or female if they molested children. Yeah, I would say same.
Yes, sir. And that's exactly why I asked that question, because I noticed after that show, people were a little soft on that to me. And I know it's because she was a woman. A lot of times they'll say, yeah, we can, eliminate the pedophiles. But if that pedophile is a young lady, sometimes people feel a certain kind of way.
That's all American. That's the same thing with, women and children first and everything. They feel, all right, well, a woman's in a position of something weaker at that ass point. It's like, wait a minute. I mean, get your damn values correct. You know what I'm saying? Now she had an aspect of weaker as a woman, but they've been teaching the sickness all across the board. Our people look. This system is utilized because it works. And somehow it's getting even more effective. And that's the scary part. Because it now seems like it's on automatic degenerate. And it just keeps declining.
That's true. One thing that has bothered me lately is I've seen, I don't know anybody that will admit to it, but it looks very suspect to me, a lot of single mothers today who will say, I'm going out to eat with my man, or I'm sitting here watching TV with my man, or my man cooked me breakfast in bed, and come to find out their man is their little son. To me, that just doesn't sit right. I have heard of men being abused by their mothers, and with some of the things that I'm hearing right now, it seems like that may be becoming a trend in the community, because to call your son your man, not just the man of the house, but your man, is just going down a real slippery slope for me.
Well, I can tell you, and this was really hard. When you do this work, you kind of get to a place where you're comfortable and you want to stay in your zone and fight the battle where it is. And it just always hurts for the battle to escalate on the other end. Not you escalating against the enemy, but the enemy escalation of the war against your people. I was talking to a brother. I was playing ball and talking to him. He was talking about bringing me out to his program to speak to the young people. And I was talking to him, and he said, yeah. I said, I bet you got some young people in your program that's been sexually abused. And he said, yeah, he said 4 of my 16 boys have been sexually abused. So I said, yeah, I bet you it was their uncles, wasn't it? Because I was so confident that I had done so, I was so knowledgeable about what was going on. I pretty much can predict. I'm pretty good with that, what's going on. And it blew me away. He said, no, man. He said, it's their moms. I said, what? He said, yeah. He said, I got 16 boys. And 4 of them is their moms and aunties and aunts that are molesting them. I said, wait, what do you mean, molesting them? He said, well, they getting these boys to give them oral sex. They have sex with their sons, and their sons are really messed up by this because this is what their mothers were doing with them.
What the hell is this? I mean, what?
And this ain't this year. This was back in 2006 or 7. maybe
You know,
2008.